Greetings, I'm Demonac, and this is a makeup video where I make up an RPG element, like an NPC, an organization, or an exotic location, based on viewer suggestions. If you're watching this, we probably missed another Sunday Morning Heroes livestream, but I'll try to make up for that with some ideas to hopefully get you brainstorming. I'll also probably look over at the side a lot because my notes are, not on a teleprompter. So, Mark Van Esch suggested a slime rancher, which was different from a lot of oxymoron suggestions, sort of ideas that were coming in, like, make a violent pacifist sort of things. It's an oxymoron. But Slime Rancher also sounds like such a Dungeons and Dragons idea. It's such a D&D specific profession that I wanted to think, what would Slime Ranchers be like? The Greenboot Clan was really started when their great ancestor, Darrigan of the Wildbreak Wanderers, saved the Wanderers from defeat by finishing off the Green Dragon, Zobarathrex. His heroism, both during that fight and in many previous adventures, was legendary, but seeing their wizard half dissolved, and their druid, Enslow the Grey Bear, slashed to the brink of death, it was too much for Darrigan, and he chose to retire and settle down with Enslow. Surprising everyone, though, including his partner Enslow, Darrigan took his share of the dragon horde of Zobarathrex in scales and hide, rather than an even share of the gold and other art objects. Some have said Darrigan knew exactly what he was doing. Others claim he had thought the scales would make fantastic armor and that he had drastically overestimated that armor's value. But history records it as a genius move. Once Enslow recovered from his wounds, he and Darrigan began adopting children over time, orphans of many races and backgrounds, particularly orphans and bastards left behind by other adventurers. But Darrigan didn't come back from his armorsmith friends with fancy suits of dragonhide plate, but rather with a whole wagon load of gear, mostly many pairs of boots and gloves, along with what Enslow called the craziest plan I've ever heard, and I snuck into a Medusa's lair disguised as a snake. The Wildbreak Wanderers once defeated the Lord of Ashrock Mountain, although some of them had barely escaped the slime pits of the lower levels. Darrigan was now proposing that they return and set up a ranch on a rock outcropping just below the fallen tower, a raised pinnacle of rock which appeared to be safe from the ravages of Ashrock Volcano itself. There, they would venture back to the slime pits beneath the tower, but this time outfitted with acid-immune gloves and hip waders. They would rustle up some oozes they could breed, grow, and sell, to which Enslow replied, "How is this retirement?" Generations later, the Greenboot Clan are renowned as slime ranchers, growing, herding, and selling monstrous oozes. Their family business has found a fairly unique niche. Their oozes provide acids for metalworking and all manner of rare compounds used by wizards and alchemists, and they've been known to sell live slimes used for protecting vaults and the like, though they're notoriously careful about to whom they entrust live oozes, both to maintain their own good reputation and for the safety of the buyers. Because as much as outsiders may think they're just crazy, Greenboots are brought up from a very young age knowing that slimes are no joke. Once properly equipped with their ancestral dragonhide boots and gloves, they have one full suit of acid-immune leather for tricky situations, but mostly just wear the boots and gloves. And once they're trained in safe handling practices, there is still a lot to know about raising slimes, like how you can split them fairly easily just with sharp implement to get two slimes half the size, but doing so makes them angry and aggressive. Whereas if you keep them well fed, they grow big enough that they happily split on their own, becoming more docile over generations, though still quite dangerous. One of the most important aspects of the Greenboots' business and lifestyle is slime herding. Slimes are able to subsist a very long time on very little food, but for them to gain size and mass, they need good sources of both biomass and metallic elements. To do this, without feeding them whole equipped adventuring parties, or family members, The Greenboots leave broad paths scoured down to bare stone as they graze the herd alternately on the grasslands around, but also on the porous metal-rich stone left behind by Ashrock Mountain's lava flows when they harden. Though the volcano has been steadily active for decades, if not centuries, the flows shift over time. So every few years, sometimes one or two, sometimes a dozen years pass before things shift significantly, the Greenboots have to change their grazing paths to avoid the current molten flows and move to where the recently cooled and hardened flows have all the fresh minerals. Of course, you can't just tell slimes where to go, or at least not easily. One of the trade secrets discovered and passed down by Old Man Enslow was to identify and train what they call alpha slimes. These are unusual oozes which, for whatever reason, are more amenable to training than the average unthinking blob. A great deal of time is spent working with these alphas, developing a connection of sorts, such that a clan member can guide them gently with the Greenboot version of a shepherd's crook, often jokingly referred to as a ladle. And the alphas serve almost as sheepdogs for the other slimes. It's said that a few of the more gifted sons and daughters of the clan can direct an alpha simply by whistling. The ladle itself is a long, sturdy staff, the spoon-like end of which has a number of rounded, conical protrusions made from a metal which, when in contact with water, acts as a strong base. They found that oozes sometimes like to curl into the shape of a basic spoon, far from the desired effect, but with the knobs to break up that smooth surface, and the base reacting with the acidic slimes, it gently but firmly nudges the creatures in the desired direction. This clan of slime ranchers could be included in your game in a number of ways. While I like them best as well-meaning and competent people whose profession happens to be insane, you might make them a lot more mercenary and unscrupulous, willing to sell slimes to anyone who pays their price. I think they'd make a great quest-giving organization you could fill with lovable NPCs. What they do is so wacky that I would have many of the Greenboots be a little off, yet the game would treat this slime-herding enterprise with great seriousness. The Greenboots might also make a fun backstory and origin for a player character, maybe a whole party. As a family of adoptees, started by two adventurers, any race could fit in, and the PCs need not be related, but the Greenboot Ranch could be a fun home base, quest hub, and bond between the characters. Possible Slime Ranch quest hooks and plot points might include: the Greenboots need to increase their supply of acid-proof boots and gloves. Either some of the original Dragonhide heirlooms are wearing down with time, or maybe their numbers have simply grown too much, so they need some adventurers to hunt up some acid-resistant monsters for hides. By the way, even if their gear is immune to acid, it only covers small parts of the body, so in combat, it would really only grant acid resistance. In fact, in 5th Ed, acid resistance seems a little bit too strong, but whatever. If you have the full set, it's fine. Being the experts on slimes, maybe a Greenboot handler needs an escort, as she's hired to help a town deal with invasive oozes, or to solve some kind of ooze-based crime. Or there is suspicion that one or more members of the clan are selling deadly slimes to a band of assassins. Maybe the head of the clan wants outside unbiased help to find the traitors, or maybe the king has decreed that if a culprit cannot be found, the army wizards will be ordered to destroy the Greenboots' herd and livelihood. It's possible maybe the druids among the clan have developed the ability to wild shape into oozes instead of animals. They still take animal companions, but at a small cost. Their animal companions are immune to acid, which can lead to all kinds of fun, like the little bird sitting on the acidic ooze. Maybe a green dragon, a relative of Zobarithrex, is coming to even the score. And, of course, the classic: due to sickness or a sudden unfortunate change in the lava flows, the slime herders need to go on a longer than normal cattle drive, well, puddle drive, taking a wide path around the volcano, and can use some extra hands. Do some of the slimes try to slip away despite the alphas? Is there some even crazier group looking to steal the herd, or maybe just discredit the clan? Or is the unexpected movement of lava being caused by some sinister force? So that's what I came up with for the Slime Rancher makeup video. Make sure to suggest your own weird or interesting ideas in the comments or on Twitter at TailsDDC, and don't get too overly specific, because you never know what you're going to get. I'm hoping Sunday Morning Heroes has been playing regularly every Sunday for months, to the point that I've started releasing these just for the hell of it. If that's not the case, and this is in fact making up for another stream missed due to technical or IRL problems, then sorry again. Regardless, this is a fun creative exercise for me. I hope it spurs your own creativity. Of course, if you want to see a lot of my crazy RPG ideas in action, check out the illustrated Tales from My D&D campaign. We now stream D&D 5th Edition Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Details at demonac.com/smh. Come join us live.